Hello, I'm Mac, and if you're over 70 and find yourself waking up more than twice a night to use the bathroom, I want you to know you're certainly not alone. This condition, known as nocturia, is incredibly common, affecting a significant number of adults in our age group. But here's something crucial. While it's common, it's not something you simply have to accept as an inevitable part of aging. Those frequent nighttime trips aren't just an inconvenience. They can seriously disrupt your sleep, leading to daytime fatigue, a strained immune system, an increased risk of falls in the dark, and even put extra strain on your heart over time. It's a cycle that can truly impact your overall quality of life, making you feel less energetic and more vulnerable. I understand how frustrating this can be, feeling like your nights are dictated by your bladder. That's why today, I want to share 7 practical daily habits that can make a real difference in reducing those nighttime bathroom visits. These aren't complicated medical procedures or a list of new medications to discuss with your doctor. Instead, these are simple at-home adjustments based on real practices and an understanding of how our bodies work, especially as we age. We're not going to talk about trying to hold it or ignore your body's signals, nor is this about adding another pill to your regimen. This is about empowering you with knowledge and actionable steps. If you're looking for ways to achieve more restful, uninterrupted sleep, to wake up feeling more refreshed and energetic, and to regain a sense of control over your body and your nights, then I encourage you to stay with me through this entire video. We'll go through each habit step by step, explaining the why and the how, so you can start implementing these changes right away. These are strategies designed to work with your body, not against it, helping you to find a better balance and, ultimately, a better night's sleep. Let's explore how you can take back your nights and improve your well-being. Our first habit might seem counterintuitive when we're talking about reducing nighttime urination. It's about maintaining a steady evening hydration routine, but with a crucial adjustment in timing. Many people, in an effort to avoid those nightly bathroom trips, drastically cut down on all fluids in the evening, sometimes even from the late afternoon. However, completely depriving your body of water for extended periods isn't ideal. Dehydration can lead to more concentrated urine, which can actually irritate the bladder and potentially increase the urge to go. It can also contribute to other issues like constipation, which, believe it or not, can also put pressure on your bladder. The key here isn't to stop drinking water, but to shift when you drink the majority of your fluids. We want to ensure your body is well hydrated throughout the day, so it doesn't enter the evening hours in a state of thirst, prompting you to drink large amounts close to bedtime. Think of it as front-loading your hydration. Aim to consume most of your daily water intake, say 6 to 7 of your 8 recommended glasses, before the late afternoon or early evening, perhaps before 5 or 6 p.m. This gives your body ample time to process those fluids and for your kidneys to do their work well before you're settling down for the night. Consider Harold, a 74-year-old viewer who shared his story. He used to drink very little all day at his workshop, then come home and drink several large glasses of water with dinner and throughout the evening because he'd suddenly feel parched. He was up 3 to 4 times a night. Once he started consciously drinking more water from morning through mid-afternoon, and then only taking small sips in the evening if he was truly thirsty, he found his nighttime trips reduced to just 1, sometimes none at all. He reported feeling more energetic during the day too, likely due to better overall hydration. So the actionable step here is to become more mindful of your fluid intake patterns. For a week, try tracking when you drink your fluids. Are you like Harold, concentrating most of your intake in the evening? If so, consciously start shifting that pattern. Keep a water bottle with you during the day and sip regularly. Then, in the evening, switch to smaller sips if needed, rather than large glasses. It's not about a rigid cutoff, but a sensible tapering. Listen to your body, but also guide it with this new timing. This rebalancing act ensures your bladder isn't overwhelmed just as you're trying to wind down. It's about working smarter with your body's natural rhythms. You might be surprised how much of a difference this simple shift can make. It takes a little conscious effort at first, but like any habit, it becomes second nature over time. Remember, adequate hydration is vital for overall health, so we're not compromising that. We're just optimizing the timing for better sleep. The second habit we'll explore focuses on creating a sleep-inducing environment. You might wonder what your bedroom atmosphere has to do with how often you need to use the bathroom, but the connection is stronger than you might think. Factors like light, noise, and even the temperature of your room can significantly impact your sleep quality. And when your sleep is fragmented or shallow, you're more likely to become aware of even mild bladder sensations that you might otherwise sleep through if you were in a deeper stage of rest. A disruptive environment can essentially lower your threshold for waking. Think about it. If you're already sleeping lightly because a street lamp is shining through a gap in your curtains, or because the thermostat is set too high, making you restless, your brain is closer to the surface of wakefulness. In this state, the normal signals from your bladder, which might be perfectly manageable during deep sleep, can become enough to rouse you. Furthermore, disruptions like sudden noises can trigger a slight stress response, and for some individuals, this can also translate into a feeling of bladder urgency. It's all interconnected within our nervous system. I recall Frank, an 80-year-old gentleman, who was frustrated with his nocturia. He'd tried adjusting fluid intake, but still woke frequently. During a consultation, we talked about his bedroom. He mentioned his wife liked a nightlight, the TV was often left on a sleep timer with fluctuating volume, and their old window let in quite a bit of street noise. He also kept the room quite warm, thinking it was better for his circulation. These seemingly small things were collectively chipping away at his ability to achieve deep, restorative sleep, making him more susceptible to waking up to urinate. So, what are the actionable steps? First, let's address light. Aim for as dark a room as possible. Invest in blackout curtains or blinds if ambient light is an issue. If you need a nightlight for safety when getting up, choose one with a dim, warm-colored bulb, like amber or red, and place it low to the ground, out of your direct line of sight from the bed. For temperature, research suggests a cooler room, typically between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit or 15 to 19 degrees Celsius, is optimal for sleep. Experiment to find what's comfortable for you, but avoid an overly warm or stuffy room. Finally, tackle noise. If you live in a noisy area, consider using earplugs. The soft foam kind can be very effective. Alternatively, a white noise machine or even a fan can create a consistent, soothing sound that masks more disruptive noises. Frank made these changes. Blackout curtains, a dim motion sensor nightlight in the hallway instead of the bedroom, earplugs, and he convinced his wife to try a cooler room temperature. Within 2 weeks, he reported sleeping for longer stretches and feeling less of that urgent need to go, simply because his sleep was deeper and less disturbed. Creating a true sleep sanctuary is a powerful non-medical tool in managing nocturia. Our third habit dovetails with our first one on hydration, but it focuses more specifically on establishing a kind of fluid frontier in the late afternoon or early evening. While we emphasized shifting the bulk of your water intake to earlier in the day, this habit is about being particularly mindful and, dare I say, disciplined about what and how much you drink after a certain point, say 4 to 6 p.m. This isn't about a hard stop, but rather a significant tapering off of significant volumes of any liquid. The goal is to give your kidneys and bladder a head start to process fluids well before your head hits the pillow. Think of your bladder like a reservoir. If you're continuously topping it up with large amounts of fluid throughout the evening, it's naturally going to reach its capacity more quickly and more frequently during the night when your body is trying to rest and consolidate its functions. By consciously reducing fluid intake from the late afternoon onwards, you're allowing that reservoir to gradually empty and stay at a lower, more manageable level as you approach bedtime. This simple act of timing can have a profound impact on the signals your bladder sends to your brain overnight. Let's consider Carol, a 72-year-old retired teacher. Carol loved her evening routine, a large mug of herbal tea while reading before bed, sometimes followed by another glass of water because she'd heard it was good to stay hydrated. She was waking up at least 3 times a night. When she learned about managing fluid timing, she decided to try having her main hydrating drinks, including her larger cup of tea earlier, finishing them by 5 p.m. In the evening, if she felt thirsty, she'd have just a few sips of water rather than a full glass or mug. The change for Carol was noticeable. She found that by the time she went to bed, her bladder felt comfortable, not overly full. Her nighttime awakenings dropped significantly, often to just once. She realized that her healthy habit of evening hydration was, in her case, contributing to her nocturia. It's important to remember that healthy advice needs to be personalized. What works for general hydration during the day might need adjustment for optimal sleep at night, especially as we get older and our bladder capacity or sensitivity might change. So the practical advice here is to experiment with a cutoff time that works for you, perhaps starting with 6 p.m. and adjusting earlier if needed for any significant fluid intake. This includes not just water, but also juices, sodas, soups, and yes, even those seemingly innocent herbal teas if consumed in large quantities. Be especially wary of diuretics like caffeine and alcohol in the evening, which we'll discuss more in the next habit, as they can further exacerbate the issue by increasing urine production. Small sips for thirst are fine, but the days of large evening beverages should be re-evaluated if peaceful nights are your goal. Now let's delve into our fourth habit: identifying and avoiding common bladder irritants in your diet, especially in the hours leading up to bedtime. It's not just the volume of fluid that matters, but also the type of fluid and even certain foods. Some substances can directly irritate the lining of the bladder or act as diuretics, stimulating your kidneys to produce more urine. When your bladder is irritated, it can feel fuller than it actually is, leading to increased urgency and frequency, both day and night. The usual suspects here are well known. Caffeine is a big one. Found in coffee, many teas like black, green, and oolong, chocolate, and some sodas, caffeine is both a diuretic and a bladder stimulant. Alcohol is another major culprit. It also acts as a diuretic and can irritate the bladder. For many people, consuming these even several hours before bed can significantly impact nighttime urination. It's not uncommon for that afternoon coffee or evening glass of wine to be the hidden reason behind those 2 a.m. bathroom trips. Beyond caffeine and alcohol, there are other potential irritants to be aware of. Spicy foods can be problematic for some individuals, as the capsaicin and other compounds can irritate the bladder. Acidic foods and drinks, like citrus fruits and juices, think orange, grapefruit, and lemon, and tomato-based products, can also cause issues for sensitive bladders. Artificial sweeteners, often found in diet drinks and sugar-free products, are another category that many people find can trigger bladder symptoms, including urgency and frequency. Even carbonated beverages, regardless of their caffeine or sugar content, can sometimes be irritating due to the carbonation itself. The key here is to become a bit of a detective with your own diet. You might not be sensitive to all of these, but it's worth paying attention. Consider keeping a food and symptom diary for a week or two. Note what you eat and drink, especially in the afternoon and evening. And then track your nighttime bathroom visits. You might start to see patterns emerge. For instance, you might find that on days you have a spicy dinner, your nocturia is worse, or that switching from regular soda to water in the evenings makes a difference. Once you identify potential culprits, try eliminating or reducing them, particularly after your fluid frontier time, like 4 to 6 p.m. For example, if you enjoy coffee, have your last cup in the morning. If you like tea, switch to non-caffeinated herbal varieties like chamomile or peppermint in the afternoon and evening. But remember, even large volumes of herbal tea can be an issue due to fluid load. If you suspect spicy or acidic foods, try milder options for your evening meal. Small dietary adjustments can often yield significant improvements in bladder comfort and reduce those unwelcome nighttime awakenings. Our fifth habit involves actively strengthening a group of muscles that play a crucial role in urinary control, the pelvic floor muscles. These muscles form a supportive sling at the base of your pelvis, helping to support your bladder and urethra, which is the tube through which urine exits the body. When these muscles are strong and well-toned, they can help you hold urine more effectively and resist sudden urges. As we age, like any other muscles in our body, the pelvic floor muscles can weaken, and this weakness can contribute to issues like stress incontinence, like leaking with coughs or sneezes, and urgency, including nocturia. The good news is that these muscles can be strengthened with specific exercises, the most well-known being Kegel exercises. Now, a lot of people have heard of Kegels, but not everyone knows how to do them correctly or really understands their importance beyond pregnancy or postpartum recovery. They're actually incredibly beneficial for both men and women at any age, especially if you're experiencing changes in bladder control. Strengthening these muscles gives you more conscious control over the mechanisms that hold and release urine. So, to perform a Kegel, you need to identify the right muscles. The next time you are urinating, try to stop or slow the flow of urine midstream. The muscles you use to do this are your pelvic floor muscles. Just a quick note. Don't make a habit of stopping midstream, as this is just for identification. Regularly stopping midstream can potentially lead to incomplete bladder emptying. Once you've identified them, you can do the exercises anywhere, anytime, sitting or standing. Squeeze and lift these muscles. Hold for a count of 3 to 5 seconds, and then relax completely for the same amount of time. Aim to do a set of 10 to 15 repetitions, 2 to 3 times a day. Consistency is key. It's not about squeezing as hard as you can, but about controlled contractions and complete relaxations. You shouldn't be tightening your abdominal, buttock, or thigh muscles. The effort should be focused internally. If you're unsure if you're doing them correctly, don't hesitate to ask your doctor or a physical therapist who specializes in pelvic health for guidance. They can make sure you're targeting the right muscles effectively. Over time, regularly performing these exercises can significantly improve your bladder control, reduce urgency, and help you better manage those nighttime signals. Think of it as training for your internal support system. Stronger pelvic floor muscles mean your bladder has better support, and you have more command over when you choose to empty it. This isn't an instant fix. It can take several weeks to a few months to notice significant improvements, but the long-term benefits for bladder health and reducing nocturia are well worth the consistent effort. It's an empowering habit that really puts you back in control. Habit number 6 centers on the power of routine, specifically establishing a consistent and relaxing bedtime routine. Our bodies, and especially our internal clocks or circadian rhythms, really thrive on predictability. When you go to bed and wake up around the same time each day, even on weekends, you help regulate a whole bunch of bodily functions, including hormone release, digestion, and yes, even bladder function. A haphazard sleep schedule can throw these rhythms out of sync, which can contribute to sleep disturbances and increased nighttime urination. A consistent bedtime routine does more than just signal to your body that it's time to sleep. It helps to calm the nervous system and prepare both mind and body for rest. This winding down period is crucial. If you're engaged in stimulating activities right up until you turn off the lights, like watching an action-packed movie, having an intense discussion, or scrolling through stressful news on your phone, your mind can stay active and alert, making it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep. This state of heightened alertness can also make you more sensitive to bladder signals. So, what does a good bedtime routine look like? It should involve a sequence of calming activities that you perform in the same order each night for about 30 to 60 minutes before your intended sleep time. This could include things like taking a warm, not hot, bath or shower, since the subsequent drop in body temperature can promote sleepiness. You might do some light reading. A physical book is often better than an e-reader that emits blue light. Gentle stretching or some simple yoga poses can help release physical tension. Listening to calming music or a relaxation podcast can also be beneficial. The key is to choose activities that you find personally relaxing and to avoid screens, TVs, computers, smartphones during this wind-down period, since the blue light they emit can suppress melatonin production, which is the hormone that signals sleep. Carol, whom we mentioned earlier, found that adding a 20-minute routine of gentle stretching, followed by reading a chapter of a novel in a dimly lit room, helped her feel much calmer and sleepier than her previous habit of watching television in bed. This, combined with her fluid management, made a significant difference. By creating this predictable sequence, you're essentially training your body to recognize the cues for sleep. This regularity can help deepen your sleep and make you less likely to be awakened by minor bladder sensations. It's about creating a peaceful transition from the busyness of the day to the restorative quiet of the night. This habit isn't just about managing nocturia, it's about improving overall sleep hygiene, which has far-reaching benefits for your physical and mental health. Consistency here is your ally in achieving more peaceful, uninterrupted nights. Our seventh and final habit is a simple, yet often overlooked technique, elevating your legs for about 30 minutes before you get into bed. This practice can be especially helpful for folks who experience fluid retention or swelling, edema, in their lower legs and ankles during the day. Throughout the day, especially if you spend a lot of time sitting or standing, gravity can cause fluids to pool in your lower extremities. When you then lie down flat to go to sleep, this accumulated fluid gets reabsorbed into your bloodstream. This reabsorption process means there's an increased volume of fluid for your kidneys to process and filter. What's the result? Your kidneys produce more urine during the night, leading to a greater likelihood of waking up needing to go to the bathroom. It's a natural physiological response, but one that can be managed with a proactive approach. By elevating your legs before bed, you give your body a chance to start this fluid redistribution process while you're still awake and can easily use the bathroom one last time before settling in for the night. How do you do it? It's really quite straightforward. About half an hour to an hour before your intended bedtime, lie down on your back, either on your bed or on a comfortable sofa. Prop your legs up against a wall or use several pillows to elevate your feet and lower legs above the level of your heart. You don't need a dramatic angle. A comfortable elevation is sufficient. You can use this time to read, listen to music, or practice some relaxation exercises. The key is to maintain this elevated position for around 30 minutes. This simple maneuver encourages the excess fluid that has collected in your legs and ankles to move back into your general circulation. Your kidneys can then begin processing this fluid while you're still awake. Many people find that if they do this consistently, they'll often have a significant urge to urinate right before they finally get into bed for the night, which helps empty the bladder of this shifted fluid. This can mean less fluid for your kidneys to process once you're actually asleep, potentially reducing the number of times you need to wake up. Now, this technique is not a cure-all, and if you have significant or persistent leg swelling, it's always important to discuss it with your doctor to rule out any underlying medical conditions. However, for many people experiencing mild to moderate daytime fluid retention that contributes to nocturia, leg elevation can be a surprisingly effective, non-invasive strategy. It's a gentle way to work with your body's fluid dynamics to promote a more uninterrupted night's sleep. Combined with the other habits we've talked about, it can be a valuable addition to your nighttime routine. We've covered 7 distinct, yet interconnected daily habits that can genuinely help you reduce those disruptive nighttime bathroom trips and reclaim your sleep. From adjusting your hydration timing and creating a sleep-conducive environment, to managing dietary irritants, strengthening your pelvic floor, establishing a consistent bedtime routine, and even the simple act of elevating your legs, these are all tools within your reach. I truly believe that managing nocturia often comes down to these thoughtful, consistent lifestyle adjustments rather than complex medical interventions for many people. I want to encourage you to choose 1 or 2 of these habits that resonate most with you, or maybe the ones you feel might be easiest to implement, and try them consistently for at least a week. Pay attention to how you feel, how you sleep, and how many times you're waking up. Then I'd really love for you to come back here and share your experiences and results in the comments below. Your journey can inspire and help others in our community who are facing similar challenges. And of course, if you found this information helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications so you don't miss out on more health tips designed to help you live well. Remember, even small, consistent changes can lead to significant improvements in your sleep quality, your daytime energy levels, and your overall sense of well-being. It's about taking proactive steps and understanding that you have more control than you might think over these aspects of your health. Thank you for watching, and I wish you many nights of restful, uninterrupted sleep ahead. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.